Multi-market media force Martha Moore was born in Washington, D.C. to two Capitol Hill overachievers. Her can-do attitude is a direct result of her upbringing. She received a BS in communications from UT Knoxville and earned national recognition for an award-winning advertising campaign while enrolled there. She kicked off her music career as a copywriter for WKGN Radio and moved to Nashville in 1976 to pursue a job at WLAC Radio. Skates, as she is fondly known, transitioned to the label side of the street a year later and enjoyed tenures at ABC, MCA, Mercury Polygram Records, and working with Kiss, Bill Monroe, Brenda Lee, Bon Jovi, the Bar-Kays, George Strait, and the Oak Ridge Boys, and many more. During her corporate run, Moore established an impeccable industry pedigree and unlimited connections. She embraced the passion and sense of energy inherent in the business at the time and opened the doors of so much more media in 1988. She broke the glass ceiling when she signed Johnny Cash as her first client. A host of other stars, including Doyle Lawson and Quicksilver and the Grascals, followed. Martha enjoyed a 15-year professional relationship with legendary songwriter Hank Cochran, longer than my relationship lasted. And worked with his family during his posthumous induction into the Country Music Hall of Fame. Moore also worked closely with Jim Ed Brown and the Browns and Fred Foster throughout their Hall of Fame inductions. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome to the stage 2017 Source Hall of Fame Award inductee, Martha Moore.
Woo! All right. Oh my God. I am nervous. If anybody who knows me, I'm usually on the other side of the camera as publicist. So just bear with me on this. But I would say that this crowd is about the same size of the last backstage of the Kiss concert that I've been to. I think everybody was backstage, something like that. I want to thank so many people. So let me just get started. Thank you to Source. Thank you to the Musicians Hall of Fame for putting this on. It's such an honor to be inducted with my peers and all the women before me. I have family and friends who have traveled from Ohio, Virginia, Washington, D.C., and Indiana to be here with me tonight. There are some in the crowd who have known me from minutes after I was born. And that would be one very special person at table number 8. Thank you, Hattie, for catching me when they threw me over. I'm just teasing. Anyway, there are two very, very important people missing tonight, and they are my parents. I wish that they could see me now, but they are watching. So, and they're, actually letting me talk normal. I began my office career as a teenager, working at my mom's office in Washington, D.C. She was an executive director for a trade association. She's the first woman executive I ever met. She was my mom. I just figured it was all about that. So I just, just carried on and went from there. But she taught me everything about the business side of things. And so therefore, I wish that I could even be half the person that she was. Anybody who has met her knows she is the woman. My music industry career really started when I was still in college in Knoxville at UT. I worked at WKGN Radio. I wrote copy for late night movies. Then I actually did a little voicing, but I really don't tell anybody that, nothing professional. I got the job because I had, and this is something that runs through my entire career, music and athletics and/or sports. I got the job at WKGN Radio because I met the program director at the disco across the street. That's no joke. And I was really good dancer. Orman, you know. So anyway, so that's how I got my first radio gig. Then I moved to Nashville in 1976 for a job at WLAC Radio, and immediately joined the Records and Radio Bowling League. Not joking. I had a 176 average. And yeah, really. And it impressed me when I looked it up. But I was a shoo-in for the publicity coordinator job at ABC Records because Larry Bonnick, head of promotion, said, "Gotta have you on my team." And that's really how I got the job. I am really not joking. You know, I worked under Jim Fogelsong, one of the best in the business. From there, ABC was merged into MCA Records, and I got to work with some of the biggest names in all of the business. I'll just rattle them off really quick. You'll know them all. Barbara Mandrell, the Oak Ridge Boys, Conway Twitty, Bill Monroe, Loretta Lynn, Brenda Lee, Merle Haggard, Don Williams, Tanya Tucker, Lee Greenwood, Farron Young, and superstar to be, and everybody had a crush on him, George Strait. Yeah. One particular thing that was a particular highlight during that particular time was I was on tour with, I went on the Kenny Rogers, Dottie West, Oak Ridge Boys tour, and I showed up at the first set of press conferences on roller skates with briefcase full of press releases and all that sort of thing. And at the end of the tour, Joe Bonzel gave me a satin jacket, said skates right here. And from that point on, I roller skated up and down Music Row, delivering my press releases and photos. So, and hey, you gotta have a stick, right? So, I'll be fast. I think I'm taking it too many times. As director of press and artist development for Mercury Polygram Records, I had 3 terrific bosses: Jerry Kennedy, Frank Jones, and Steve Popovich. I also had 3 terrific wardrobes. I worked with R&B, so I had spandex. I worked with a country roster. I wore jeans. And then for the pop rock people, I wore mini skirts, of course, with leg warmers. And I got to work with some of the most fabulous people: Kiss, Mellencamp, Bar-Kays, Cameo, Confunction, Def Leppard, Tears for Fears, Bon Jovi, Robert Cray, Stephanie Mills. On the country side, I worked with Johnny Cash, Reba, the Statlers, Johnny Paycheck, Lynn Anderson, and up-and-comers Kathy Mattea, Butch Baker, and Larry Boone. Butch is here tonight. Thank you so much for coming. It was a time of the industry where we just absolutely had fun. On the roller skates, that was all fun. We got a lot of work done, but it was just such an enjoyable time. Some little-known facts that people don't know about me is that because of the executive positions that I did carry at the record labels, I was allowed to judge the Miss California USA pageant. It doesn't really look like something I would do. I was a judge on You Can Be a Star TV show. I taught classes at Belmont as a guest teacher, speaking about PR and image, and you can bet your boots I showed up on skates to do it. A couple of other things are that I had a monthly column for 1 year with Country Music Plus magazine out of Ireland. It was called Roots, Boots, and Billy, and it was Americana and country, and it was just a blast to write. And last but not least, I traveled to military bases in Italy, Germany, and Greece. It's hard to believe that I am celebrating 29 years coming up in November for my little bitty boutique PR company called So Much More Media. I've had the pleasure to work with all kinds of legends, but more importantly is I felt like that the independent artists really need somebody to champion them. So, and that's what I really love. It's not easy, but it's a lot of fun. Watching them take the next step. I've collaborated with many people on the row. I've worked with some of the best, but there is one special artist who really has a special place in my heart. I worked with him for 15 years, the fabulous, legendary songwriter Hank Cochran. There are just a few industry friends here that I wanted to make a special mention of that were always supportive, answered all my questions, and I asked a lot of questions. I'm sure everybody's out here watching me. And they are Sherry Bond, who's over here, Jeff Walker, and that goes out to you, Christy, and Mickey Foster, who also came for the end thing, and David Ross. And lastly, I want to give a big, huge hug and thank you to my loving husband of 28 years, who many of you have never met before. His name is Eddie Fusel. He's wearing that beautiful beret over there. He has been my rock, listened to me gripe, cried with me, held me when I thought it was all going to be a difficult time, made it through. I feel like there have been so many special moments in my life, and I truly have had a blessed life so far. So I've got plenty left. I'm humbled and honored to join the other members as they're inducted into the Hall of Fame tonight. Thank you.